Bomb in Washington. We have three explosive situations defining the future of the Commanders that no one else is detailing like this. A heartbreaking injury changes our entire offensive strategy. A first-round rookie is being schooled by elite defenses, and desperate roster moves could save us or completely sink us. The next moves by Adam Peters will be crucial to saving the season, and I'll tell you this, if we don't act intelligently and quickly, we might see our playoff dreams collapse before September ends. Here's what's really happening in Washington that will change everything we thought about this season. Austin Ekeler, our veteran running back who is the key piece of stability in this transitioning offense, tore his Achilles against Green Bay, and we won't see him for the rest of 2025. It can't be. But here's what no one else is telling you. The moves Adam Peters is making aren't panic-driven. They're pure strategic genius. First, let's talk about what we really lost with Ekeler, because I believe many fans don't grasp the magnitude of this loss. We're not just talking about a running back who could gain 4 to 5 yards per carry. We're talking about the most reliable veteran in this offense full of rookies and young players. Ekeler was our safety net on 3rd and long. Do you know how many times Jaden would look toward the backfield knowing Austin would be there, in the right place, running the perfect route? He was the guy who could read a blitz before it arrived, who could adjust his blocking assignment on the fly, who could turn a bad screen into an 8-yard gain through sheer experience and instinct. In his years with the Chargers, Ekeler proved to be one of the most versatile running backs in the league. 2021, 70 receptions for 647 receiving yards. 2022, 107 receptions for 722 receiving yards. 107 receptions. Those are wide receiver numbers, not running back numbers. And that versatility was exactly what Cliff Kingsbury needed for his offensive system. Now, imagine what it means for Jaden Daniels to lose that escape valve. A rookie quarterback already has enough pressure trying to read professional defenses, adjusting to the speed of the NFL game. Having Ekeler was like having a veteran teacher always available for an easy pass when things got complicated. But here's what impresses me about Adam Peters. He didn't sit around lamenting the injury. Immediately after Ekeler went down, he was already working the phone, exploring options, activating contacts. That's what elite geniuses do. They turn crises into opportunities. The brilliant move. Chase EDMONDs, and here comes the first masterstroke by Peters that no one else is explaining correctly. Signing Chase Edmonds isn't desperation. It's pure intelligence. Do you know why? Because Edmonds isn't a stranger to Cliff Kingsbury. These two already have chemistry, already have a successful history together. In Arizona. From 2019 to 2022, Edmonds was a fundamental piece of Kingsbury's offensive system. And now I'll give you the numbers that matter. 333 carries for 1,551. Rushing yards, 4.7 yards per carry. But more importantly, 128 receptions for 921 receiving yards. That's total versatility. But do you know what detail blows my mind? When Edmonds entered the draft in 2018, his NFL.com profile directly compared him to Austin Ekeler. Same height, similar weight. Same playing style. Lance Zierlein wrote in his scouting report that Edmonds had the ability to contribute immediately as a receiver from the backfield and situational runner. Sound familiar? This is no coincidence. Peters isn't just replacing a player. He's replacing a style, a function, a mentality. Edmonds knows exactly what Kingsbury expects from him because he already did it for 4 years. Routes from the backfield, adjustments in protection, red zone situations, it's all there in his muscle memory. And here's the factor no one else is mentioning. Edmonds is hungry. He missed all of 2024 with a knee injury, saw his career stall, saw other running backs pass him by. Now he has the opportunity to return with an offensive coordinator who knows how to maximize his skills. That's burgundy and gold, baby. The master move. Jerome F.O. Ward, but Peters doesn't stop there. Because now we have reports that the Commanders are seriously exploring a trade for Jerome Ford from Cleveland. And this is where the strategy becomes truly clever. Ford is trapped in Cleveland. The Browns drafted Dylan Sampson in the 4th round and Quinton Judkins in the 2nd. They also have Raheem Sanders as an undrafted rookie who scored in Week 1. Suddenly, Ford went from starter to 4th option. The Browns need to free up roster space and generate draft capital. We need experience and proven talent. Do you know what I like about Ford? In 2023, when Nick Chubb got injured, Ford stepped up big time. 813 rushing yards, 319 receiving yards, 6 total touchdowns. He proved he can be a complete back when given the chance. And his $5 million contract is completely manageable for our salary cap. Here's the brilliance of the timing. Ford is entering his contract year. He's motivated to prove he deserves a new deal. What better situation than coming to Washington, contributing immediately to a team fighting for playoffs, and showing his value in the 2026 free market? Now let's talk about our current backfield reality, because this is crucial to understanding why these moves are so important. Jaquarii Crosby-Merritt is our RB1 by default. A 7th-round rookie who has shown flashes, but never expected to have this responsibility so soon. Jeremy McNichols is solid as a 3rd option, but is a journeyman who's been with 6 teams in 6 years. Chris Rodriguez Jr. has potential, but is still developing. Donovan Edwards on the practice squad is interesting, but completely unproven. See the problem? We don't have a true veteran who can guide these young guys. Who can be the leader in the huddle? Who can make protection calls when a complex blitz comes? Eckler was all that and more. With Edmonds and potentially Ford, suddenly we have veterans who understand the game at a professional level. Edmonds can teach Crosby-Merritt the small details of Kingsbury's system. Ford can be that powerful back we need in short yardage situations. McNichols can return to his natural role as a special teams ace and depth piece. But here's what really matters. How does all this affect Jayden Daniels? Because at the end of the day, everything we do has to be to protect and develop our quarterback of the future. Without Eckler, Jayden loses his most reliable escape valve. Defensive coordinators know this. They're going to bring more pressure. They're going to force Jayden to make tougher decisions. They're going to test if he can handle the added responsibility. With Edmonds, we regain that versatility. Jayden knows that if the play action doesn't work, if the first read is covered, he can check down to the backfield and trust Edmonds to be where he should be. That confidence is invaluable for a rookie quarterback. With Ford, we gain that physical dimension we need. When we're on the goal line, when we need those tough yards on 4th and short, having Ford there takes the pressure off Jayden from having to do everything with his arm or legs. And here's where Peters is given a masterclass in roster management that other GMs should study. Instead of panicking and making desperation moves, he's being strategic and opportunistic. Edmonds to the practice squad first. That gives him time to learn the full playbook, to develop chemistry with Jayden in practice, to prove he's completely healthy after the knee injury. If it works, they promote him to the active roster. If not, they haven't lost anything significant. The potential trade for Ford is perfect timing. Cleveland needs to move before the deadline. We have draft capital available, and the price won't be prohibitive because Ford is in his final contract. Year. This is exactly what we expected when we hired Peters. Not reactive management, but proactive strategy. Not band-aid solutions, but sustainable building. Not panic moves, but calculated risks. Calculated risks. Now let's talk about the situation that's got everyone worried, but no one is analyzing with the depth it deserves. Josh Conerly Jr., our number 29 draft pick, is going through what we might call his welcome to the NFL reality check. And I'll tell you this, how he responds in the coming weeks will define not only his career, but the effectiveness of our entire offense this year. What we saw last Thursday against Green Bay wasn't just a bad game. It was a brutal lesson on the difference between college and professional football. Micah Parsons and Rashan Gary didn't just beat Conerly. They dominated him mentally, made him doubt every set, turned him into a liability that had to be constantly helped. But do you know what worries me the most? It wasn't just that they beat him physically. I saw a rookie who started anticipating pressure before it arrived, who began setting up with shoulders already turned, who lost aggression in his punch. Those are signs of a player being beaten mentally, and that's much more dangerous than being beaten physically. Parsons is different. I get it. The guy is a generational talent who makes even Pro Bowl tackles with years of experience look bad. But the way Conerly responded throughout the game tells me we urgently need to work on his mental preparation and his specific technique for right tackle. Here's the issue no one else is explaining correctly. Conerly played left tackle his entire career at Oregon. His entire career! His muscle memory, his angles, his footwork, everything is calibrated to protect the blind side from the left. Now he's playing right tackle, and it's not just switching sides. It's like asking a left-handed pitcher to throw right-handed. The rush angles are different. The timing with the quarterback is different. The way you have to set your hands is completely different. When you play left tackle, your first responsibility is always the outside rush because you're protecting the quarterback's blind side. Your set is more vertical, more aggressive towards the outside. As a right tackle, you have to be more aware of the inside rush because the quarterback can see what's coming from your side. Your set has to be more balanced, more controlled. Conerly is still thinking like a left tackle while playing right tackle. I saw several plays where his initial set was perfect for left tackle, but completely wrong for right tackle. Parsons read him like an open book and punished him repeatedly. And here's what makes this situation even more difficult. Conerly doesn't have the luxury of gradually developing. He's protecting a rookie quarterback in a new offensive system with a coordinator who needs time in the pocket for his concepts to develop. Cliff Kingsbury's offense heavily relies on timing routes and deep developing plays. When Conerly breaks down in protection, he's not just allowing pressure. He's breaking the rhythm of the entire offense. Jaden can't complete his progressions. The receivers can't finish their routes. The running game suffers because defenses don't have to respect the passing attack dot. It's a domino effect that affects every single aspect of our offense. And the defensive coordinators around the league are taking notes. They're all going to bring their best pass rushers against Conerly until he proves he can handle the pressure. But here's what really concerns me. Confidence. I saw Conerly on Hard Knocks during training camp. He was confident, aggressive, talking trash with the defensive linemen. That killer instinct you need to play offensive line in the NFL. Against Green Bay, I saw a different player. Hesitant, reactive instead of proactive, playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And that's dangerous because in the NFL, hesitation gets you beat every single time. Confidence on the offensive line is everything. You have to believe you can handle any rush that comes at you. You have to add nastiness that says no matter what you try, you're not getting to my quarterback. Once you start doubting yourself, you're finished. What I like is how the coaching staff is handling this situation. Instead of throwing Conerly under the bus publicly, they're providing extra help while he develops. Tight ends staying in the chip, running backs sliding over for double teams. Quick game calls to get the ball out fast, but that can't be the long-term solution. You can't keep 7 guys in protection all season. You can't limit your offensive concepts because your right tackle needs constant help. At some point, Conerly has to step up and handle his responsibility individually. The coaches are working extra time with him on technique drills, specifically on right tackle footwork, on hand placement for different types of rushes, on recognition of stunts and blitzes. But all that takes time to translate to game situations. Here's the reality no one wants to discuss. If Conerly doesn't improve rapidly, we need to start exploring alternatives. Cornelius Lucas is our backup, but he's more a temporary solution than a long-term answer. Could we move Andrew Wiley from guard to tackle? Possibly, but that creates another hole on the line. Could we look at trade options? Maybe, but good tackles aren't usually available mid-season. The truth is we need Conerly to succeed. He has all the physical tools: size, length, athleticism, intelligence. His college tape shows a player who can dominate when he's confident and aggressive. The potential is there. Now it needs to translate to NFL success. And now comes the real test. This Sunday against Las Vegas, the Raiders have Max Crosby, who isn't Parsons, but definitely isn't a pushover either. Crosby is relentless, technically sound, and will test every weakness Conerly showed against Green Bay. This is where we'll see what Conerly is really made of. Will he bounce back with confidence and show that Green Bay was just one bad game? Or will he continue struggling and confirm that we need to make changes? I honestly believe Conerly has the talent to be successful. But talent alone isn't enough in the NFL. He needs the mental toughness, the consistency, and the ability to learn from mistakes quickly. The next few games will tell us everything we need to know about our right tackle position for the rest of the season. The third situation developing right now is potentially the most intriguing of all, and it's exactly the kind of move that separates good G-Miz from great ones. Jerome Ford from Cleveland is available via trade, and Adam Peters is seriously exploring bringing him to Washington. But this isn't just about filling a roster spot. This is about strategic opportunism at its finest. First, let's understand exactly why Ford is available. Cleveland has one of the most crowded backfields in the NFL right now. They drafted Dylan Sampson in the 4th round, Quinton Judkins in the 2nd round, and have Raheem Sanders as an undrafted rookie who already scored in Week 1. Ford went from being the presumed starter to being potentially the 4th option on the depth chart. That's NFL reality. Your status can change overnight based on draft picks and rookie performances. Cleveland needs to make roster decisions, and Ford's $5 million salary for this season makes him an expensive luxury they can't afford to keep as a backup. But here's what makes this interesting. Ford isn't just any backup. In 2023, when Nick Chubb got injured, Ford stepped up in a major way. 813 rushing yards, 319 receiving yards, 6 total touchdowns. He proved he can be a legitimate NFL starter when given the opportunity, and the timing of this potential trade couldn't be more perfect for Washington. We need immediate help in the backfield. Cleveland needs to move salary and create roster space, and Ford needs an opportunity to prove himself before hitting free agency. Ford is in his contract year, which means he's motivated to perform. He can't afford to waste a season sitting on the bench in Cleveland when he could be contributing and showcasing his skills somewhere else. That hunger and motivation is exactly what we need right now. From Cleveland's perspective, they can get some draft capital for a player they weren't planning to use significantly. They save money, create roster flexibility, and still have plenty of options in the backfield with their young guys. But what really makes Ford attracted to our system is his versatility. He's not just a runner. He is a complete back who can contribute in multiple areas. His 319 receiving yards in 2023 show he can be a weapon in the passing game, which is crucial for what Cliff Kingsbury wants to do. Kingsbury's offense thrives with running backs who can create mismatches. Screen passes, wheel routes, checkdowns that turn into big gains. Ford has the speed and hands to be effective in all those areas. Plus, his experience handling a full workload means he understands the nuances of different game situations. Size-wise, Ford brings a different dimension than what we currently have. He's bigger than Edmonds, more experienced than Krosky Merritt, and more proven than our other options. That physical presence could be crucial in short yardage situations and goal line carries. From a financial perspective, Ford's contract is completely manageable. $5 million for this season isn't prohibitive for our salary cap situation. And since he's in his contract year, we don't have any long-term commitment if things don't work out. Trade-wise, Cleveland probably isn't expecting a huge return. Maybe a mid-round pick, maybe some conditional compensation based on performance. That's the type of calculated risk good teams take. Low investment, high potential reward. Peters has shown he's willing to be aggressive when opportunities present themselves. The Lattimore trade, various free agent signings, draft day trades. He understands that sometimes you have to take calculated risks to improve your team. Of course, there are challenges with any mid-season trade. Ford would need to learn our offensive system, develop chemistry with Jaden Daniels, and find his role within our existing backfield hierarchy. But running back can be one of the easier positions to integrate quickly. The basic concepts, run through holes, catch passes, protect against blitzes, translate across systems. And Ford has enough NFL experience that he shouldn't be overwhelmed by the transition. Plus, having Edmonds already in the building could help. Veteran players often help newcomers adjust more quickly than coaches can. Ford could learn from Edmonds' experience with Kingsbury's system and accelerate his own learning curve. If this trade happens, it could create interesting dynamics throughout our roster. Ford could potentially be our primary early down back, with Edmonds handling passing situations and Krosky-Merritt getting developmental carries. That kind of clarity in roles could actually help everyone perform better. Instead of uncertainty about carries and responsibilities, each player would have a defined role that maximizes their strengths. It also sends a message to the rest of the team that management is committed to competing this year. After the Eckler injury, it would have been easy to just accept reduced expectations. Instead, Peters is actively working to maintain our competitive level. At the end of the day, this potential trade represents exactly the kind of strategic thinking that has made Peters successful. It's not a panic move. It's an opportunistic play that addresses a clear need while taking advantage of another team's roster dynamics. Whether it happens or not, the fact that we're exploring it shows that Peters isn't content to just hope our current options work out. He's actively seeking ways to improve the team. And that proactive approach is what championship organizations do. The next few days will tell us if this trade materializes. But regardless, it's clear that Peters is working every angle to give our team the best chance to succeed this season. These three situations, Eckler's injury and the subsequent moves, Conerly's struggles, and the potential Ford trade are all interconnected. They represent the different challenges faced by every NFL team, dealing with injuries, developing young players, and making strategic roster decisions. What impresses me about how Peters is handling all this is the calm, calculated approach. No panic, no desperation moves, just smart football management. Whether these moves work out perfectly or not, the process is sound, and that gives me confidence in our organization's direction. The next few weeks will tell. You said a lot about where this season is headed, but right now, I like the way our front office is responding to adversity.